What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and pets? My name is Poppin' Smokes, and today what I have for you guys is my 6-month review on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2020. But before I get into the video, I just want to say I hope everyone is staying safe, and everyone's families and loved ones are doing well, and if your family or loved ones are sick, I hope they do make a full recovery, and I hope we can get back to everyday life very shortly. Anyway guys, let's jump into the video. So I've broken the video down into 3 different sections covering campaign, warzone, and multiplayer, but I'm mainly going to focus on multiplayer due to the fact that majority of the Call of Duty community plays multiplayer, and not a lot of people are interested in campaign and warzone. They're more interested in the gold, which is multiplayer. So having said that, let's jump into it. So my first point I really do like about campaign is that there is a campaign. Last year's game, Black Ops 4, we never got one, which was kind of a bummer because it was either Blackout or multiplayer or store. There wasn't really much to do. It was either play Blackout or play multiplayer. There wasn't that single player story campaign. Some people just buy the game to play the campaign. That's all they do. And some people play the campaign and then move on to multiplayer. Others just buy it like myself and just play multiplayer. And when they have time or when they finish multiplayer, they play the campaign. But in this case, because it was a Modern Warfare, and I do like the Modern Warfare better than the Treyarch games, I ended up playing the campaign first and then moving to multiplayer. Anyway, so my points I dislike about campaign is that it was really short. I found I finished it in about 6.5 hours, and there wasn't really any acts. Like, it was just 14 missions and that's it. It's just mission after mission after mission. There were a lot of cutscenes, and which was cool. I mean, it was, you know, a nice little story, but at the same time I kind of like the acts. I like the you know, just kind of like the, you know, it says, okay, you've completed Act 1, so this was Act 1, now this is Act 2 kind of thing, and then finally Act 3. And the other thing I really disliked about campaign was that there was only 2 stealthy missions. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the stealthy missions. I like the tactical, I like the, you know, kind of like sit back, plan, and then execute. Like, for example, if you have to take out an enemy on a tower, and if you don't take the enemy out on the tower, they see you, or they see an enemy that you've killed or taken down, and then all hell breaks loose, and you've got to kind of come up with an idea, or, you know, you're scrambling trying to kill everybody, and you're getting shot at in every direction because you didn't kind of take your time and plan out your route and execute it. It's kind of like a puzzle. You got to kind of take one enemy out in order to be able to take another enemy out, or if you take that enemy out, you're going to get spotted. So I really like those puzzling missions and stealthy missions. Moving on to Warzone. What I do like about Warzone is that it's nice to have another Battle Royale for Call of Duty. I mean, when Blackout came out, I was like, alright, well, Treyarch, you know, got the upper hand. They're going to try and make a Battle Royale. I was like, you know, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I mean, Call of Duty is the #1 first-person shooter out there, and for them to kind of make a Battle Royale, it's a whole different category and something that they're not really used to making. But I have to say that David Vonderhaar and Treyarch had pretty good success with Blackout. So I like that there's now an Infinity Ward version of Blackout, and it's called Warzone. I think it's a really good name. I think it's really cool, and again, you know, it's just nice to have a second one, another version of a Battle Royale for Call of Duty. Another thing I really do like about Warzone, and what I disliked about in Blackout, is that everyone has the same health and armor in Warzone. That's something I think that Treyarch missed. With the level armored, I don't think that that's really fair. I mean, if somebody gets level 3 armor, you know it's game over for someone who has level 1 or level 2. I mean, unless you get the upper hand and get some headshots on him, you're not going to break that armor, and he's going to beat you to the gunfight every time. So I think with the leveled armor, it's not as fair, because again, if someone has level 3, you're pretty much done. And, you know, if one guy has level 3 in a squad, you know, he's got 3 other teammates to kind of back him up, and pretty much, and he can repair the armor as well, so it's full strength again. It just, leveled armor doesn't really work. But like I said, Warzone, it's nice to have, you know, everyone has the same health, everyone has the same armor. It makes the game a lot more fair. The things I disliked about Warzone was that kill streaks in game. What? Why do you have kill streaks in Warzone? I mean, I'm pretty sure it was a battle royale. It's not multiplayer. I don't understand the aspect of putting kill streaks into Warzone. Again, I think you're getting away from the whole battle royale. I mean, battle royale is gun v gun v person. It's not, you know, let's call in a freaking precision airstrike and wipe out an entire squad. That's not really a battle royale. It's just kind of like it's like a kill streak doing the work. It's easy. You can buy the kill streak and then it does the work for you. It's not a real challenging PvP. I mean, that's what a whole battle royale is. It's gun skill versus gun skill. It's not here, I'm going to call in a precision airstrike and wipe out your entire squad. Like, I just dislike that. And as well, another thing is the perks. Why are there perks in a battle royale? Again, it's gun v gun. It's not, you know, it's not run perks like the tracker perk. Like, You know, if somebody's scavenging in buildings, you can see their footsteps, so you already know they're in there, and you get the upper hand on them, and the guy that's in there has no idea that you know he's there. And, you know, you could say, well, why don't you just run tracker? I'm like, well, yeah, but then what's the point? Like, again, you're getting away from a whole battle royale. It's gun v gun, player versus player. And finally, the last thing that I truly dislike about Warzone is the gulag. I don't understand this whatsoever. A real battle royale is you kill somebody, they're out. There's no coming back and winning the whole thing. And I think with the 1v1 gulag, the fact that you can struggle to kill somebody and you finally put them down and then you kill them right off and they go to the gulag and they win and they come back and then they annihilate you and take victory, I think it's ridiculous. I honestly disagree with that 100%. I hate the gulag. It's stupid. And 90% of the time, I lose. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's like I'm like, well, I'm just gonna push the guy. Like, honestly, what else is there to do? You either camp in your spawn and you wait till it counts down and then cap the flag, or somebody pushes and you make some moves. So that's one thing that I really dislike about Warzone. It's really probably number one that I hate. Anyway, guys, moving on to the good stuff, the multiplayer. So I'm gonna break it down into 3 sections. I got pros, cons, and then little things they could have fixed and can still fix to make the game a little bit better. So let's get into the pros. So my first pro is the weapon customization, the optics. We have so many optics in this game. It's great. I love that tactical capability where you've got, you know, like 30 different optics, you know, 3 different suppressors, 18 different foregrips and underbarrel attachments. It's great. I love that. It opens up so many different combinations for guns, and even the fact that you have a grenade launcher that throws out smoke or incinerary rounds or something like that, something cool, and even just a grenade, it's so cool. Like it opens up, again, so many doors for tactical and all that. The second thing that I really do like about multiplayer is the graphics, the detail. Like when you fire your whole mag out of your gun, you see smoke coming out of the silencer or the barrel. That is so realistic. I love that. The only thing that kind of is a pain is the fact that it stays for a while. It's not like it's, you know, it kind of just, it happens and then once you reload it disappears. It stays on there for a little while and it follows you for like a trail. So, I mean, I don't know if the enemies can see it. I've never really seen it on anybody's gun. I just see the little like smoke coming out when they're shooting, but I've never really seen the trail of smoke following them. So I really do like that though. My third point I really do like about multiplayer is ground war. I don't know why they didn't do this sooner, where there was large maps and lots of people to play, lots of kills, lots of long range engagements with snipers. It's really a great, I think that's a great idea for Call of Duty, massive players, and the fact that, you know, it promotes more bigger maps, and it promotes more opportunities and doorways for Call of Duty, you know, and like the Battle Royale was a big step, and now big ground war maps and big player counts. It's another big step for Call of Duty, which they haven't really done in a long time, which is nice. I mean, they've stuck to the same sort of like coding they've done, you know, it's ground war, it's been 9v9, and now this is the first Call of Duty that is doing like massive maps and massive amount of players, which is kind of like a new era, which is nice. And finally, my last point, which has to be my favorite, is the finishing moves. I have gone behind so many people that have just been looking through their scopes and sniping, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to give it to this guy. He's picking my teammates off left, right, and center, but you know what, I'm going to finishing move him. And it's so cool with the finishing moves. You pick him right up, and you just curb stomp his face, or you throw an axe into his back, or you almost like decapitate him with a knife or a machete. It's crazy. I love that. I love that, because people just... they don't even see it coming. They're like, oh, you know, I'm building a streak up. I'm building a streak up. Next thing you know, you're getting picked up and just slammed onto the ground and curb stomped. Oh, I love that. I love doing it to people, especially when they're on streaks, because they're like, man, I didn't hear him come up behind me. Like, that's so cheap. It's hilarious. Anyway, guys, moving on to the cons. And unfortunately, there's a lot more cons than there are pros, but let's get into it. So the biggest con, I think by far, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, is the maps. What is going on with these maps? I mean... typically we've got 3 lanes to run, and with these maps they're all different shapes. Like for example this one, Piccadilly, it's not a square, it's not a rectangle, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like a trapezoid in my opinion, but it's just weird the way the maps are set up, the way the flags are set up. It's not your traditional 3-laned and, you know, like your traditional maps where you have like, you know, enemies spawn on one side and then the enemy or the, you know, your team spawns on the other. And then you kind of mingle through the middle, and you can either have the left or the right to kind of run up and flank them or something. But in this game, you can't. Like, you cannot get behind the enemies, and sometimes you can, but you kill somebody, and next thing you know, you're wiped right out. Moving on to my second con, the spawns. I think a lot of people will agree with me again. the spawns are atrocious. And to be honest with you, I don't think the game really has any spawns in particular. I think it just spawns you wherever, because there's been a couple of times where I will spawn on my teammates and they're running. And it's like, well, I've never really spawned here before, and it's kind of different every game. Like, for example, in the older Call of Duties, you would kind of, you know, after like a month or two of the game coming out, you would kind of pick up on where the enemies are going to spawn, like around their flags and around certain points in the map. But in this, they'll spawn literally right next to you. You can kill somebody and they'll spawn right behind you within like a matter of seconds, and they kill you. It's the spawns are just atrocious in this game. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on with the spawns. I don't know why they haven't fixed it yet, or even tried to attempt to fix it, or I don't know. Anyway, moving on to my third con, footsteps. Oh my god, when the game first came out, these footsteps were atrocious. They were absolute garbage. Like, you could hear your teammates and enemies across the map. No word of a lie for people who've just picked up the game at Christmas time or have just recently bought the game. You could literally, on launch, you could literally hear enemy footsteps and your teammates' footsteps halfway across the map. And now with footsteps, you can hear them. You like, okay, yeah, he's coming near me. I can hear him. He's like underneath me. I hear him. All of a sudden, the footsteps just stop, and they could be crouch walking, but 9 times out of 10, the footsteps just seem to not be 100% exact. Like, you'll think, oh, he's right underneath me. He's right underneath me. Next thing you know, you're getting picked up behind you in finishing mood because you couldn't hear his footsteps. They're more of like inconsistent, I want to say. Moving on to my fourth con, weapon challenges. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever struggled so hard to get these long shots and these mounted kills. Now, the mounted weren't as bad as the long shots, but with these maps, because they're not your traditional 3-lane, you only have a few spots on certain maps where you can really pick up long shots. I mean, sure, you can play ground war, but at the same time, with all this realisticness and bullet drop, and I find I'm having to use half my mag just to hit somebody a couple times, like 100 meters away. It's ridiculous. I think that it's, to be honest with you, way too much for weapon challenges to get gold. I think that it should have been kind of like Modern Warfare 3, where there was a level based to it. You know, like you level up the gun to X level, and then you use the gun for, I think it was like 80,000 XP you needed in order to get gold, where you just level up that one more time and then you get gold. I think that's what they should have done in this game. I think there would have been a lot more, less camping and less people, you know, mounting and trying to get these challenges and stuff. Moving on to my fifth point, I really have a hard time believing that there are true boxes around people. I mean, I have, honestly, no word of a lie, I have stood right in front of somebody and emptied my entire mag into them with a foul. And in a later video, I will show you the clip. But I was literally 2 feet away from the guy, hip firing my entire mag. The foul, I believe, has 20 rounds as a stock mag, and all 20 rounds missed. He was 2 feet in front of me and they missed. It's like bullets do not register for some reason. Like in kill cams, you'll see, like, the bullets go right through somebody. They don't register. I don't know what it is, if the hitboxes aren't really like on square all the time or what's going on, but it is atrocious when it comes to trying to kill somebody and they're from like a distance away. You'll be shooting right at them, and it just doesn't hit them. It's like right through them. It's like they're ghosts. And you know, it's really annoying when, like I said, I'll show you the clip in one video where you're 2 feet in front of the guy and you unload your mag hip firing and it doesn't hit him. Like, I don't understand. I'm pretty sure bullets go straight when they come out of the barrel, not huck a 90 degree and go the other way. I don't understand. It's really weird. So that one's definitely a big con in multiplayer. I don't know what's going on. They haven't fixed it, and I guess they just don't really care anymore. And finally, my last con, I think a lot of people are going to be agreeing with me on this one, is that there is no prestiges and no max level, as well as there's no level reset. For me, I kind of really miss trying to get to that max level. Those prestige icons I really like, and just I miss prestiging. It's like you get to 155, and sometimes, like I see in some lobbies, there's guys that are already 155, and I'm like, man, you got to go another like 30-something days at level 155, not leveling up, not doing anything, and you just got to stay there. You don't level up. I miss that leveling. Like, typically, I wish they had enough prestiges where you could kind of, you know, have something all the way through its year life cycle, like Modern Warfare 3. You know, originally there were 10 prestiges, and then Infinity Ward's like, okay, you know what, we pick up a lot of people are at 10th prestige now, let's launch 5 more, okay? You know, a couple months later, okay, well, you know what, people are now 15th prestige, alright, let's launch 5 more, and then finally everyone got to 20th prestige, and it's like there were new prestiges coming out every once in a while, and it kept the game fresh. Like, there was always leveling up to do. So that's definitely a big thing that I really do miss, is prestiging. I don't know if that's going to be a new thing with Call of Duty. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping the next COD has prestiges again, and you can actually reset in case you want to, you know, start again. And lastly, the little things. So these are things that I think that they could tweak and fix right now. And again, you do not have to agree with me on these. These are just things that I think they could fix and actually add, considering that they have added and they can add things to the game. There's just a large update that comes with it. So the first little thing is kill streaks. I think that, in my opinion, I think they should switch the advanced UAV and the chopper gunner, just because I think with the advanced UAV, it's going back in time. Black Ops 2, the orbital VSAT, really overpowered freaking kill streak. It was awesome. But it was only, you know, around 12 kills, and that's what it was around. Sorry, it was around 1250 score, and that's exactly what the chopper gunner is. So I think they should have switched those two. I think the chopper gunner should have been where the AC-130 is, because if we go back to Modern Warfare 2, the chopper and the AC-130 were the same amount of kills. Both, I think it was 12 or 11 and 12 or something, but they were around the same. So I think that they really should switch those two, because again, advanced UAV is not a lethal kill streak. It's just super OP because you can see which way they're facing. But again, I think 10 kills for that is pretty reasonable. Another thing, big thing, dead silence. I have no idea why dead silence was not a perk in this game. It's a field upgrade, and I think it only lasts like 20 seconds or something, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I wish I had dead silence, because I'm finding myself having to crouch walk across maps, and it's taking me, you know, instead of, you know, 30 seconds to get into the enemy spawn, it's taking me a minute and a half, and not to mention I'm already dead on the way getting there because there's so many people camping in windows and doors. It's ridiculous. So I really think that dead silence should have been added as a perk to the game instead of a field upgrade. And finally, the last little thing I think they need to tweak and fix is the sniper hit markers. Now, obviously, there are some pretty big maps in this game, but the fact that you're using a sniper rifle, I'm going to emphasize that, a sniper rifle, a 50 caliber sniper rifle, and you get a hit marker 300 meters away, it's just not realistic. And with this game being so realistic, or trying to be so realistic, I don't understand the fact that you're getting hit markers in ground war when the guy's like, you know, 500 meters or 300 meters away. It's like, are the snipers not powerful enough for the big maps, but they're powerful enough for the small maps? But even then, in regular core, I get hit markers with sniper rifles. I think that coming, like, with the new CODs, I think coming out now, they need to be one shot no matter where you hit the guy. If you shoot him in the leg, his leg's gone. If you shoot him in the arm, his arm's gone. If you shoot him in the head, it explodes. I know that's a little gory and graphic, but seriously, it's a 50 frickin' caliber rifle. Like, it's not a little smarty shooter like a 9mm. And that's another thing. I find the gun calibers do not make sense at all. Like, if you're going in hardcore, one thing I do not understand is if you're firing an LMG or the AK or the sniper rifles, sometimes you'll get a hit marker or the foul. You know, it's the amount of bullets and it's the size of bullet. So, for example, why is a pistol a 9mm bullet? If you don't know what a 9mm bullet is, Google it. The bullet itself is like a centimeter, 1.5 centimeters in length, and then the shell casing is probably about 2.5. But still, a centimeter and a half bullet kills me in one shot. Yet a 7.62 round takes 3 or 4 bullets to kill somebody in hardcore. Hardcore has 30 points of health. Whipping a C4 at somebody should kill them, but it doesn't. You get a hit marker with that. I really don't understand how a 9mm beats a 50 caliber or a 7.62 or even a 5.56 NATO round. I do not understand that, and this game is supposed to be realistic. No idea. Anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like, and if you like the content, please subscribe. Anyway, it's been Poppin' Smokes, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.